G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome all of my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoyed the content on my channel. If you missed the last video, the storage solution build, there's a link up there now. You can go and watch that first and then come back and watch this one. I did say at the end of that video that I probably wouldn't make one, but by the amount of new subscribers I've picked up over the spin indexer build, there's probably plenty of people that have not seen much of my little lathe. So I thought I'd show you just the way I have the Z-axis lead screw set up on that and how I'm going to repair it. So follow me to the lathe just here and we'll get on with it. Alrighty, you'll have to put up a little bit of noise. They're renovating a house up the road and it's bashing and banging and grinders. But anyway, this is what I've got set up here. The lead screw runs up through up into the centre, and you probably just barely see it. There's the nut is up here, bolted up underneath the cross slide. That lead screw is welded into the head of a stainless steel cap screw. And I've been down the road to the bolt shop this morning and bought a new one. I have a new lead screw sitting in here, and what I did was I welded that into there. Now last time I think when I was building this I didn't have the lathe or whatever, but I think I ground the end off to try and get it in there. But this time I will machine it down. I might even put this in the lathe and just bore it out a little bit so that I can fit that better into here, and then I'll weld the two together with some stainless rods. And if you've never welded with a stainless electrode, I'll show you a little something that scared the crap out of me the first time I ever did it. But anyway, the lead screw nut, I wanted this a type you can get that has a spring between two halves, and they have a slot in one side and lugs on the other, so that they sit together and the spring holds them apart to get rid of all the slack out of it. And I couldn't find one for the 10mm version. You get them for the 8mm, but not the 10mm. So I'm going to modify these. I picked up a spring this morning which is just slightly too small, so I'll turn the OD down to get the spring over it. I certainly won't be using all of that spring. I'll cut it down a bit. And the way this is put together, this gear, I've got this set up so that when I turn the handle it turns the right way. Otherwise, because it's a right-handed lead screw and not a left-hand, so when I turn it this way it moves forward, turn this way it comes back, and that just runs on a cap head bolt, because they are pretty hard cap heads. So I've just been running on that all this time, and it's holding up pretty well. This gear here is actually threaded onto this stainless steel bolt. And it's just held on with a lock nut. It just screws on like that. Now I can't pull this apart too much because I want to do some machining before I go pulling it all apart. So I better put this back together and get on with the machining. Alrighty, so there's not a lot of difference between the OD of this thing and the ID of this spring, so I'm just going to take a 0.1 cut up here and see if it'll fit or not. It wants to be loose without being sloppy. It's a bit tight, I think. Might take another 0.05. See what happens. I think that may be just, I don't want it binding up, so I might go another 0.05. Beautiful. Okay, so I'll get that one out of there and do the other one. Now the next one, I need to turn most of this off it as well, so I'll put a washer in behind that. What was going on there? That's I'm into the washer. Where's that spring going? I want this to be about the same diameter as that spring. maybe just a little more. Alrighty, I think that'll do that one. Alrighty, so next up for these two will be in the mill. One will get slot machined through the centre of it, and the other one will get the outsides machined off it, so that we end up with a tang in the centre that will drive these. One will drive the other, and they will slide up into each other. Alrighty, so across the flats in that hexagon in there is just a touch over 8mm, so I'm going to machine that out till it's pretty much round, and then I'll machine the end of this down to suit that. Whatever it comes out at, doesn't matter, because that's 10mm, just under 10mm. Alrighty, get rid of all those flats out of there, so they're all gone. Alrighty, so what do we end up with? 9.4. We've got to go in 5mm. What do we got there? 9.47. So we got in 9.4. Yeah, I reckon I could probably knock that in there, which is what I'd like to do, and then we can straighten it up. So I think I might take another light skim off it. Alrighty, I'm not going to try and knock it in there. I'll take it over to the vise, get that in there. Oh, look at that, you dirty bastard. Get out there. Alrighty, so that's knocked on in there, and I've got it running pretty true enough, I think. A lot truer than the old one is. So I'll take it back over to the vise now and weld it up, and I'll show you, if you've never welded with a stainless steel rod, what happens with this stuff. Alrighty, so this is a 308 stainless rod, and I'm just going to put one tack in here before I go over, and I'll take it out and check it, make sure it hasn't whooped before I go putting any more welds on it. There's no chip and slag off with this stuff. Watch the dollop of weld and the bit of slag on it carefully after I stop. Keep an eye on it. Hey, there she rolls. The first time I ever used this stuff and it did that, and nearly shit my pants, because it just suddenly goes and just blasts off. Anyway, I'm going to let that cool off a bit, and then I'll go and throw it back in the lathe and check that it's still running true. Straighten it up if I need to. Alrighty, so I put a second dollop of weld on there, and I've got it nice and true. So I'm happy with that, and I've just turned off the dollop that was sticking up over the top. So that's that done. So now I can finish pulling this apart, get everything out of it, and get over to the mill and do those brass bits. But before I do that, I need to sort out that Y-axis playing games with me first. Alrighty, got that Y-axis DRO sorted out. It was covered in oil, so I gave it a good clean with some electrical cleaner, and it seems to be working, although it started flashing at me again, and even though I changed the batteries a couple of weeks ago, I put another battery, although I've only got one battery. So I've put the one in there and that made it stop flashing, but I've marked it and I've got to go down that way later, so I'll get some more batteries in replace them. So I've got this thing all set it up and centered. That is 15mm high, so I'm going to go in 7.5mm, just cut straight through the centre. Alrighty. So I'll get that out of there and I'll get the other one set up, and I'll do the exact opposite to it. Machine the outside edges off so it ends up with a tang that sits in there. That was a 6mm cutter. Alrighty, if a bloke was smart, he would have left turning that thing down until after we'd done this, and I wouldn't have to set this up twice. Anyway, I'm hoping I've got this right, because I haven't got a spare one of these to replace it if I screw this up. But anyway, here we go. Here goes nothing. I did a little test pass, just barely touching the top pass there, just to double check that I thought I was right. Got to lift that back up to take a half cut. Moment of truth. Well, it's too wide, which I would rather it was. .3. I'll take another 0.15 off each side. Look at that, like a bloody bought one. Alrighty, look at that, like a bloody bought one, only much more better. And good old Uncle Bobby. No, Bob's your uncle, or as Maddie's workshop says, Bob's your mother's brother. There you go. Right, so I get this spring cut down. It's a lot heavier than I would have really wanted. But that was all they had that was about the same size as this damn thing. So anyway, we'll do that, and we'll get the lathe pulled apart and get it all fitted up. Alrighty, thought I'd better show you this before I go shoving it up in there where you won't be able to see it anymore. I had to increase the size of that hole to allow for the spring and everything. And for a change, a pyramid cutter, a pyramid drill, whatever you call them, actually cut through there for me. I have never had much luck with those things. Here's the old one. Yeah, I mean, for 2 years of a fair bit of work, it's actually not that bad, really. A bit sloppy. But this one has absolutely no play in it whatsoever. So I'll get that fitted up in there. Actually, I'll get one screw started in here, then I think I'll screw this bloody lead screw right up as far as I can get it in there to give me some more room to work with here, and I'm not fighting this damn lead screw all the time. Some oil on that, I think. Wait, run into the bit at the other end. Oh, that's as far as I'm going in. Jesus, I might have to shorten that up some more. If that's as far as it goes, I may need to chop a bit more off it. That's the bearing that goes on it. Yeah, bugger it. I think I better cut a bit more off, so I'll get that out of there and cut some more off the end of it. At this point in the video, I'd like to thank my patrons for the continued support. It's greatly appreciated. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. You can sign up down there and toss me a couple of dollars every month. If you don't want to become a patron, there's always Buy Me a Coffee, and there's a QR code on the screen there. You can scan that, or there's always that thanks button down there. Well, there we have it. It's all put back together, and I don't know why, but there's a tiny little bit of play in it. Not much, but a whole lot better than it was. Well, if you enjoyed watching me do that, how about giving it a great big thumbs up and smashing that like button, because it kind of helps me out. Well, that's about it. I've just about done all my little bits and pieces. I want to do this one more thing, but I don't know how long it will take me. I want to replace the little plastic wheels on my overhead camera mounting, because it's just a pain in the ass. So whether I make up some little brass ones, or I do have some little tiny bearings here, they're only about that big with a little V in them, but I can't seem to find them. I may have used them, and if I can find them, I might look at fitting them in there to make it roll nicer. And I'd like to do something about it, the way it tends to wave in the breeze after bloody time. But anyway, like I said, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.